What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Let's synchronize our Active Directory users to Office 365 in the cloud. So what we're doing is we are taking our users that are stored on-prem, on our network, in a building, in a room, on a machine, and we're going to synchronize, we're going to install a component and synchronize each user to Azure Active Directory. So as you can see, we have our firewall and we have our domain controller, which is this Active Directory guy right here. And we want to, all of our users that we just created are on here, and we're going to install the AD Sync and then set up password hash synchronization once they are fully synchronized over to Office 365 in the cloud. So Azure Active Directory users will be populated with the same users that are on our domain controller. So that's going to go through a number of things. It's going to basically go through it's being managed by our Hyper-V or hypervisor, our virtual environment. And it's going to go through our switch, router, and firewall so it can gain access to the internet and sync those users up to the cloud. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Now the beauty of Azure is you're looking at 3 different cloud computing technologies. Azure is cloud computing. It's the backbone of cloud computing. You also have AWS and Google. I forget what Google one's called. Google Admin Cloud, Google Cloud something, I don't know. Basically, each Azure and AWS give you the ability to host software as a service, infrastructure as a service, like your servers and your networking environment, platform as a service, like Azure Active Directory domain services that we're going to set up here at some point. Don't confuse that with Azure Active Directory, which is a synchronization extension of your on-prem Active Directory. So it gets a little confusing. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. So let's go back to our remote session here, and we already have the Azure AD Connect installed, and we're going to right click and install it. I'm sorry, we have it downloaded. Now we have to install it. And we're going to double click. And yes, I agree. Continue. Oh, do I already have 2 of them open? Yes, I think I do. So let's close one of them. And let's customize. We're going to specify custom mode. Now let's leave that. So this is neat because they've added new features to it. So this is why I kind of always like to see what's new, but it's taken away from the video. So let's use Express settings. And it's going to ask me to sign in with my Active Directory, or I'm sorry, my Azure account for Office 365. I can find it on one of my 3 monitors here. Alright, so in this case it's going to be this guy right here. grab our domain controller. Okay. I guess we'll have to use the account that's set up. Okay, so what is it here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, and let's look what it's saying. I'm probably not following instructions, so let's delete that. There we go. Yep, see, I wasn't following instructions. Sometimes it's that simple. So yes, I want to continue without matching UPNs. Let me see. Yes, because I can configure that. Once it's complete, and I want to install. So basically, all these users will eventually be uploaded to Azure Active Directory. And the point of this is to eventually use Azure Active Directory domain services. So what that means is we're going to set that up in Azure. We're going to configure the domain services feature in Azure. And we're going to create a virtual network and resource groups and a virtual network, and then build a virtual machine and build that or configure that virtual machine to be a domain controller in the cloud that's running Active Directory domain services. It's actually already installed. All we have to do is join it to our Azure AD domain services domain. So there's a lot going on. You know, and one of the biggest misconceptions is, well, Azure AD is Azure AD domain services. No, not really. It's so what Azure AD domain services gives you is Kerberos and NTLM, schemas, group policy, LDAP, and I believe it's read only, but I could be wrong. But we're going to dive into that hardcore. So it's a little scattered right now because I literally just set all this up. The purpose is to build this environment, play with it, and let's see if we can break it. Let's not break it because that would not be cool. But as you can see, it's running smoothly. And what we'll do next is we'll register the domain name for an Office 365. So our users will log in with like username at billingsutility.net, as that's going to be their uh, their email or their UPN. We'll have to go into Office 365 and add that domain, so it will reflect their Active Directory email when they log into their email. So it's there's a number of steps involved, and I know I kind of went pretty fast, but hopefully you're following. And if this is of interest to you, please leave a comment, and don't forget to hit that, or I should say, smash that like button. Thanks.